Do I have alexithymia? Well, in this video I'm going to be taking an online alexithymia test. Well, hello Interpeople, and this video is me taking an online alexithymia test. Basically, I made this video last month talking about what is alexithymia, but basically when I was researching for this video, I got thinking about my own life really, and how some of the things that alexithymia can affect in a person, or influence in a person I should say, I really got the feeling that I could have some element of alexithymia. So today I just wanted to explore this world a little bit more. But firstly, full disclosure, if you're new to my channel and you just think I'm a guy taking an online test, well firstly that is true, but also the other thing is I am diagnosed as autistic. I was diagnosed as a kid, and a lot of the traits with alexithymia could be associated with my autism generally. So I'm not saying that I do have alexithymia, but basically I'm not going to go into this test thinking it's going to provide all of the answers. If I wanted answers, I'd go and seek medical advice, which is what I would encourage you to do if you're taking an online test and you think you could be autistic or have alexithymia. Go and seek medical advice. That is first port of call. Go and seek medical advice. So with the disclaimer out the way, let's just jump into it. Okay, so this is the test that I'm going to be taking. I'll link it down below. We're already off to a bad start. They can't even spell alexithymia. Alexithymia. Each question offers 5 answers and you need to choose one of it. That makes no sense. That's the scoring system. So you got strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, and strongly agree. And I wish those dogs would stop barking. Jesus Christ, it is annoying. So let's begin with some basic info. I'm 27. I don't look too bad for 27, I'd have to say. Male, I am definitely that. There's not a Z plus on here, so I'm gonna go with I don't know. Okay, so question uno. When asked which emotion I'm feeling, I frequently don't know the answer. I would say agree. Because sometimes it's a whole wave of different things. You know, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that, I'm feeling this and thinking that rather. So I don't know, sometimes I can find it a little bit tricky, especially when it's an overwhelming situation that I am in and, you know, there's just a lot going on in the old noggin. Question 2, I'm unsure of which words to use when describing my feelings. I wouldn't say I'm unsure of which words to use per se, because I would just make up words to describe how I'm feeling. Whether the other person or people understands what I mean, then that's an entirely different question. But no, sometimes when I'm trying to think of what I'm feeling, sometimes I don't know what the words are, so I'm gonna go agree. And those dogs are so annoying. If you can hear that, I'm really sorry. This is what they're like all of the time. It's delightful. Question 3, I prefer to find out the emotional intricacy. I can't say the word. However, let's fire up Google. Intricacy. Intricacies. Thank you very much, Google. Of my problems, rather than just describe them in terms of practical facts. No, I would say when it comes to just me being me and just being all fabby-dabby. Fabby-dabby. That's such a weird thing to say. No, I tend to be quite practical, really. Sometimes the emotional side of things can get a little bit confusing. It doesn't mean that I don't care, it's just sometimes it's a bit confusing. When other people are hurt or upset, I have difficulty imagining what they are feeling. Now this is a side of alexithymia which I talked about quite heavily in the previous video. I guess sometimes I have some trouble understanding why they're hurt or upset, especially if it's, for me, quite trivial and a little bit like, why are you getting upset for? There's no need to be. It's only like X, Y or Z thing. So I guess from that sense it can be a little bit uneasy for some people, I guess, you know, when I'm kind of analytical about it. So I guess I wouldn't say I have difficulty, but more just people might feel that I come across a little bit cold sometimes or uncaring. I would say disagree, purely because I know when people are hurt or upset, but I guess it's hard to imagine how they're feeling about it. I'm gonna go agree. I don't like tests. I don't like questions. Question 5. Carrying on. People tell me to describe my feelings more as if I haven't elaborated enough. That does happen quite often, actually. When I don't know, I'm waffling on, such as this for example, and people say, oh, can you elaborate on that? Or I give like a 1 or 2 word answer and people want me just to elaborate and just go into it a little bit more. It's kind of weird because I feel like I'm given the full context of what I am feeling inside, but people just want to know more. I don't know. Okay, this is getting uncomfortable. Sex as a recreational activity seems kind of pointless. I've never talked about sex on the channel. I feel so uncomfortable with this. For me, sex is not pointless at all, so I'm gonna go strongly disagree. I think there are obviously emotional benefits to sex, but also there are functional points to sex. I can describe my emotions with ease. Not really. Not really. Well, actually no, I'm gonna go disagree because I don't think it's all of the time. When I'm feeling assertive and I know what I'm doing with my life, I feel like I am able to talk about my emotions with some ease. You cannot functionally live your life without being aware of your deepest emotions. Emotions, I'm being honest, disagree. I personally feel you can go through your life without knowing the deepest parts of yourself. I think it's obviously helpful if you are able to, you know, sit down with yourself and understand and be aware of your emotions, like the deepest roots of your being. But I don't think you necessarily need to live your life. You can live your life more functionally if you do that. People sometimes get upset with me and I can't imagine why. I would definitely go agree. Sometimes I do it without knowing I'm doing it, and I'm not doing it out of maliciousness. Question 10. People tell me I don't listen to their feelings. What's that? Feelings properly, when in fact I'm doing my utmost to understand what they're saying. People have said to me like I'm not too bad when it comes to reading people or understanding their feelings, but sometimes I miss the mark. And I think this is where tests like this are a little bit iffy for me, because we can all do things like that, whether we're autistic or not, or whatever your circumstances. We can all, you know, not listen to the other person's emotions as effectively as we could or should. So with this in mind, I'm gonna go disagree, because I think I try my utmost to try and understand the other person's feelings 80 to 90% of the time. Sometimes it's just that understanding of I just don't know why things happen, I guess. When I'm upset, I find it difficult to identify the feelings causing it. Agree. Describing the feelings I have about other people. Peeping? What is that? Peeping? Other people going over the hill. What am I even going on about? Jesus. Describing the feelings I have about other people is often difficult. No. This is really weird. I feel like I'm contradicting myself so much. But like when I have a strong feeling about something, I kind of know what my gut feeling is about that person. I can only disagree based on that. Question 13. I prefer doing physical activities with friends rather than discussing each other's emotional experiences. But I don't like physical activity. I'm taking this test too literally. Oh my god. Chill out. Lad, chill out. Calm down. Okay. Disagree. I actually prefer talking to people on an emotional level, even if sometimes it's a little bit confusing and I just don't get it. I'm not much of a daydreamer. I used to be quite a vivid daydreamer, but I'm not so much now, so strongly disagree. Again, if there's any questions that you kind of know the intent behind the question, let me know, because I don't know, when I'm reading questions, I don't really understand the intent of them, so that's just me being me. So let me know down below, like, if there's other intent behind the questions. I don't like people's constant assumptions that I should understand or guess their needs. It's as if they want me to read their minds. Minds! Strongly agree! Minds! Be a mind reader, Andy! What are you doing, pal? What you doing, mate? It's really difficult understanding sometimes when someone is feeling a certain way or they are exhibiting a certain emotion, because some people, when they're not autistic, for example, lie with their body language or their facial expression. So they'll be like, I'm really happy, this is great, when they're like dying inside, and it's like you're giving off mixed signals. I sometimes experience confusing sensations in my body. Now this is something within alexithymia, when, you know, someone, you know, mixes a emotion or feeling, I believe it's emotion, with a physical sensation. I don't really experience this at all. Really, it was one of the things with my research I was doing for the What Is Alexithymia video, where I was thinking, I don't really experience that side of things, so strongly disagree for that one. And we're going back into sex. Delightful. For me, sex is more of a functional activity than it is an emotional one. I have to be careful what I say here, because obviously I've said there's functional parts to sex, and there's obviously emotional parts to sex, which I personally enjoy. I enjoy both sides of sex. What even is this video? I don't even know. I'm gonna go slightly disagree. I think for me, that opportunity to be intimate with someone, you know, makes it less of something that I think, oh, this is something that I need to do as a functional thing. And I don't know, it's a good way to bond with another person, and, you know, just, you know, enjoy each other. And I'm gonna just move on. I'm so awkward when it comes to sex. I really am. Some people have told me I am cold or unresponsive to their needs. I'm gonna go agree, because sometimes I am like that. Sometimes I just don't know what to do, but I think that's more to do with me being someone who isn't sure what to do. I don't know, sometimes I might come across as cold in situations, but I don't intend to be. I don't dream frequently, and when I do, the dreams usually seem rather boring. No, like, I don't dream as much as I used to. I mean, there was one dream where I was on the back of Pumbaa from The Lion King, and I was riding around Africa. That was amazing. That was like the best thing ever. But no, like, typically when I dream, it's about my own reality, but it's kind of augmented, and it's changed, and it's different, and it's, you know, it's kind of interesting and weird and warped and stuff. It's just maybe me, so strongly disagree. Question 20. Friends have indicated. Ooh, they've indicated, have they? What have they indicated? What have they indicated? Friends have indicated in one way or another that I am in my head than in my heart. I don't have an actual answer for this, so actually I'm gonna go neutral. I think neutral is pretty respectful. I can't identify feelings that I vaguely sense are going on inside of me. That sounded really sarcastic, didn't it? It sounded so sarcastic. I'm just gonna go disagree, because it just makes the most sense to me. I often ask other people what they would feel if in my personal situation, bracket any situation, as this better helps me understand what to do. I frequently ask people what to do in a lot of situations. This is something I frequently ask a lot of the time, because sometimes I don't know what the best option or the best way forward is. So often I ask, mainly to try not to hurt other people or anything like that. Mainly, it's not that I can't think for myself. That's not it at all. It's just I don't want to go in like a raging bull, being like and just ruin everything. So strongly agree. No. I find it useful to ponder on my feelings. There's such fancy words in this test. Ponder. I find it useful to ponder on my feelings as much as the practical issues when setting my priorities. Guess agree. Like, I guess I try to think of like the emotional implications of what I stand for, both in sense of me and other people. I'm gonna go agree, and I'm not gonna ponder on it. Ponder. I use my imagination mainly for practical means, e.g., like how to work out a problem or construct a useful idea or object. I would personally say my imagination is used for obviously the practical sense, but other senses as well, and other means, so disagree. Question 25 is pretty much me on a stick. I often feel incompetent, awkward, uncomfortable, or occasionally physically, well actually not this part, occasionally physically sick in sexual situations. Now, what I meant by that first bit was, I feel incompetent a lot of the time, awkward and uncomfortable in general situations, but when it comes to sexual situations, no. Question 26. When involved in difficult or turbulent relationships, I sometimes develop confusing physical symptoms. This is kind of going back to the other question about whether you feel things when you're feeling feelings and emotions and stuff, and again, not really. I tend to rely on other people for interpreting the emotional details of personal social events. Upset doopy doopy. Well, actually a lot of the time, you know, I'll have to ask what the deal is with, you know, a set situation, you know, who's falling out with who, or, you know, what's just the deal generally, because I just can't, I just find it difficult to read people in that way. I don't like conversations in which more time is spent discussing emotional matters than daily activities because it detracts from my enjoyment. I hate small talk. I really hate it. How's the weather? Alright. Disgusting. No, I actually prefer emotional matters. Like, it can be overwhelming. Like, when I say I enjoy talking about emotional stuff, it's obviously overwhelming sometimes, but I don't know, you get a better sense of the person who they are when they open up in a emotional way, I guess. I often get confused about what the other person wants from a sexual relationship. Disagree. I'm just gonna go disagree. Question 30. People I've been in close relationships with have complained that I negate them emotionally. I would say that is true, especially with romantic relationships. People have said to me that I'm kind of closed-minded, talk about myself too much, and, you know, I kind of neglect their feelings and stuff, which I like it when someone describes the feelings they experience under circumstances similar to my own, because this helps me see what my own feelings might be. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. You know, it's a bit easier for me when someone's been in that situation before, has felt the same way, in the similar sort of style, same sort of, you know, manner. I don't know what that was. Actually, strongly agree with that. I feel quite passionately and feel that's the right answer for me. My imagination is often spontaneous, unpredictable, and involuntary. So, imagination is just weird and it just comes out in the night at like 2 AM. It's like, oh, imagination! Ooh! Head to the laptop and just do things. I'm gonna go neutral because I simply just, I don't understand the question. When helping others, I prefer to assist with physical tasks rather than offering counselling about their feelings. I hate physical tasks. That's a That's a strong thumbs down for me. I have puzzling physical sensations that even friends, acquaintances, others don't understand. To be honest, I'm not really asked, so I'm gonna go neutral. I get in a muddle when I try to describe how I feel about an important event. Yeah, like if I've got something coming up, like my wedding, for example. If you didn't know, I'm getting married in April, so 2 months after this video comes out, 2 and a bit months after this video comes out, I have so many I'm mind boggled by it, and you know, I feel overwhelmed, but I guess I've just described how I feel, so I'm gonna go disagree. My imagination is usually not spontaneous and surprising, but rather employed in a more controlled fashion. Did I even say that right? Sometimes I'll say a sentence thinking that I'm saying it correctly, but it just comes out like utter garbage. Disagree. I'm just gonna go disagree, because I think my imagination just comes out whenever it comes out, you know? It's not something I can really force, and if I tried to force it, I just would not be happy. So. Question 37. I make decisions based on principle rather than gut feeling. This is where I'm in two minds, because there have been wind. Can you just simmer down? I'm trying to answer a very important question about my life. I do think with my gut a little bit more. You know, if I've got a feeling, like a bad feeling, I'll tend not to go for it. So in a way, I kind of make my decisions off gut feeling. However, I do make decisions based on principle as well. So I'm gonna go neutral. So okay, those are the 37 questions. Time to evaluate. How do you think I scored? Let me know down below. I think I scored high. Points, 108. Medium alexithymia traits. You show some alexithymic traits. So that's a general overview of my score, 108. But down below, if you scroll down, you have a bit more of a detailed analysis in what categories you scored high or low on. So we're just going to go through these as well. Difficulty identifying feelings, 16. Difficulty describing feelings, high alexithymic traits. Yeah, I kind of knew I would score quite high there. It's always something I've had difficulty with. So I score 18 for externally oriented thinking, 17 for restricted imagination, problematic interpersonal relationships, high alexithymic traits. Oh, here we go. Sexual difficulties and disinterest, no alexithymic traits. Well, that's very good to know. I also scored high for vicarious interpretation of feelings, which I need to know the actual meaning of vicarious because I don't know. Experienced in the imagination through the feeling or actions of another person, or acting. Okay. So there you go, that was me taking an online alexithymia test. I kind of felt it was good. It was a little bit silly at the same time. I definitely feel like the describing feelings, that was going to be a high area for me anyway, but it was nice actually seeing, you know, that being reflected in how I was thinking about it. But like I say, if you took the test yourself, you know, take the results with a pinch of salt and seek medical advice if that is something you'd like to do. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a big thumbs up for me down below and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.